I've had hundreds of comments on my channel asking what is the best budget drone to buy, and as we enter 2025 now, I just wanted to give you some insight into the different options that you have and specifically hone in on one that I think is the best budget drone in 2025. The great news is that you don't need to spend a lot of money, and the drone we chose today is under $300, but we'll talk about some drones in the range of $200 all the way to $500 US. So a little bit of a spoiler here, the drone that we're talking about in today's video is the Mini 2 SE and 4K. They're essentially the exact same drone, but the 2 SE shoots 2.7K at its highest rate, or the 4K shoots just that at 4K. If you're curious about the photo and video quality coming out the Mini 2 SE or any of the other drones that I'm talking about today, I'll leave a link in the description. You can just download the files and kind of have a look for yourself of what kind of content you can get out of them. With me today, I also have the DJI Neo, I have the Mini 3, I have the newly released DJI Flip, and then I also have one of my favorite drones, the Air 2S. And you might be thinking to yourself, Maddie, that is not a budget drone, but for $500 US, you can pick this thing up used, and I think it's a great value. And before we go any further, I don't know why you're getting into drone photography, but it's definitely a lot of fun. I picked up my first drone in 2017 and have been upgrading and trying different drones ever since. A lot of people on my channel just asked, is it good for site surveying like the 2 SE? And I think it's like the perfect drone for that. Some people want to start getting into short films and things like that. And other people are shooting weddings and they want to offer aerial photography or videography to their packages. And I also think there's a use case for that as well. So as I mentioned, I did bring the Mini 2 SE to Jordan, and that was mainly because they weren't allowing drones in the country at that time. So I didn't want to risk bringing one of my more expensive drones. So we brought the Mini 2 SE, and it ended up kind of blowing me away, the quality that you can get out of a drone this cheap. If you're curious about some of the other budget drone options, I do have videos on my channel on the DJI Neo, the Mini 3, the Air 2S, and soon to have one on the DJI Flip. Okay, so why did I pick the Mini 2 SE or 4K out of all of these drones that I've tried? Well, mainly price. That's a really big indicator here for what you get. I think you get like really good quality that 90% of the people that are watching this video are gonna be completely fine with, knowing that they're going into a budget drone option, and it's not gonna be like this insane cinematic drone with this tiny sensor, right? But I think the value is there for the money. Another really cool thing is that the battery is so small on this, but it's rated for 31 minutes. With DJI drones, you typically don't get that. I would say like take about 7 minutes off that. You probably get about 24, 23 actual flight time minutes because it has the return to home and it's gonna beep on you and it's gonna ask you to land the drone earlier before the 31-minute flight time is up. But I think that's really cool, and I also think it's amazing that you could just take a portable USB charger. And for me, when I bought this, I didn't buy the Fly More combo. So it has USB-C, you just put it into the back with a portable charger, and you're charging your battery on the go, and it's gonna be ready for a flight by the time you reach your next destination, say when you're traveling. This drone, along with the Mini 3, the DJI Flip, and the DJI Neo, all good budget options, are sub 249 grams. And why does that matter? Well, in Canada anyways, you don't need an actual license from the government to fly these drones. So that's really cool, and you don't need to register it with the government as well. So you can get away with flying a little bit under the radar with these sub 249 gram ones. And if you're just getting into flying, this is exactly what you want. You don't want to be taking like your drone license online and studying for an exam. You just want to take it out of the box, charge the battery, and go. I also think it's really cool to learn on a cheaper drone because there's an upgrade path to something like the Air 2S from this, and they fly exactly the same. So you're not relearning a whole system or interface if you just stick with DJI for drones. And I think that's really cool. Another thing is like, if you crash this thing, it's not the end of the world. It's like $279 or $300 out of your pocket, yes, but it could be a lot worse. So I do think it's something really good to learn on. Go to like a big open park, be aware of your surroundings and power lines and things like that. But yeah, you just don't have to worry quite as much. The Mini 2 SE also has stabilization, so 3-axis built-in stabilization on the gimbal. And I think that's really amazing that they were able to, for the price point, put that into something like this, because having that stabilization with so much movement going on in the air and you're counteracting wind and things like that, is super important. It is something where the DJI Neo actually lacks. It just doesn't have stabilization within it, other than some kind of like digital stabilization that does an okay job, but it's nowhere near what the Mini 2 SE has. A lot of people ask me if I could use this drone professionally, and I think, yeah, the answer is for sure you could. If you operate in a log workflow and you need something that's a little bit better in terms of dynamic range and 10-bit color, and it just has the ability to kind of match the footage from, say, something like your Sony or Canon camera, that's where it falls short a little bit, but definitely you could just shoot Rec 709 in 8-bit. If you like just splice in some cool video aerial footage from, like, say a wedding, say you're shooting a wedding, I'm sure the clients are gonna be absolutely thrilled and they're not gonna overthink the quality. In terms of video quality, this thing does shoot 2.7K, or you can just pay the $20 extra, get the Mini 4K, which is the identical drone, and have the ability to shoot 4K, but I often find that 2.7 is absolutely good enough unless you're really cropping in on your image. And if you are a beginner, you might not fully understand what ND filters do, but I would say whichever of these budget drones that you do select, make sure to grab some, maybe not right away, but like 2-3 months down the road, and understand how and why your footage can look better and smoother with the proper shutter angle with using ND filters. So that's just like another upgrade path or learning path with flying and videography. Have you ever tried to record a voiceover and then realize your voice sounds like a sad toaster? Luckily, Artlist has an AI voiceover. It's like hiring a professional voice actor, but without the awkward small talk or deep shame of realizing that you say, every 5 seconds. There's so many voices, rich, expressive voices in different languages and accents. You can even customize them. It's like the voices are in your head.
In your head.
Anyways, you type, the AI speaks like a sophisticated parrot, but without the bird stuff.
Bird stuff.
Have you ever wondered what the best budget drone was?
It sounds better than us.
Which is great, but also terrifying. And in 2025, Artlist is adding generative photo and video. So AI won't just talk, it'll see. I mean, that's fine. It's fine, everything's fine. So yeah, AI's Artlist voiceover, it's really good and not unsettling at all. Okay, so now let's talk about the Mini 2 SE, where it falls short, and then some of these other budget options and why you should spend the extra money if you really want that feature. The first one I have for you is that you don't have obstacle avoidance sensors on the Mini 2 SE, and this can be really dangerous, specifically if you're flying sideways. There's been so many times I've come to near crashes where I actually have crashed the drone, but it like caught itself when flying sideways. I've had other friends who have lost drones by flying it sideways and not having those obstacle avoidance sensors. Something like the Mini 4 Pro would have something like that. But again, you're just getting into a price point that you're gonna have to be able to sacrifice some of these features. Maybe the biggest thing for me is that the Mini 2 SE doesn't have a follow mode per se, whereas the DJI Neo does. But remember, you don't get like the proper stabilization, and you're lacking a lot of features with this, and it's definitely a lot lighter and maybe more for like indoor videography and photography because it is smaller. So there's definitely trade-offs on both, but I do like that the DJI Neo, even without a remote control, you can just like set it with the pre-programmed buttons to follow you, and it can just do it. Like, you don't need a controller, it's gonna auto record for you. So the simplicity of the DJI Neo is there. However, the reason I chose the Mini 2 SE or 4K, it's just like a more well-rounded package, and I think it's a better starting point for most people. The next thing I want to bring up with the Mini 2 SE and 4K is that they shoot in something called SDR, which for me is like good enough quality, but you're missing in the highlights and shadows some level of detail to compare to something like the Mini 3. and the Mini 3 shoots in something called HDR. So you have that high dynamic range and you get that quality back in the highlights and shadows of your video quality. I do think that if you're watching a video on buying your first drone, something like that is gonna be marginal and you're gonna be really impressed with the quality out of the Mini 2 SE or 4K anyways. But as you start flying more and more, and as the years go on, you will notice these subtleties in video quality like SDR and HDR. I would also say that if you're buying a drone in this price range or any of these budget options, you're actually not gonna get the best low light possible. You're gonna have to like spend a little bit extra, maybe $200 more or $300 more for something like the Air 2S because it has the bigger sensor size. You get way better quality out of it for photos and video. And then a bigger sensor size allows in more light. So something like this is gonna be way better in low light situations. And typically I like shooting the most at sunrise and sunset where it's lower light situations. So that's where something like this really comes in handy. That's not to say it's impossible to get good low light results out of these budget options, but it's definitely noticeable the bigger sensor size you get. Now, a lot of people like to color grade their footage and have log at least as an option. You don't get that with so many of these budget options, but with the new DJI Flip that came out, you do get 10-bit log footage, which allows you to match the video. If say you're putting a short film together with an action cam, a drone, and then a Sony camera, you could shoot log on all of them and just have more flexibility in post in terms of like the color that you're trying to, like maybe you're trying to convey a message of the short film, you can match it a whole lot better. Now with the sub 250 gram drones like we're talking about in today's video, it's really good for licensing, but you gotta be really mindful in heavy winds. Emergency landed the drone. This is where it ended up. Okay, let's go. I'm used to a bigger drone and it's pretty high winds right now. We're cliffside. So had to emergency land it in someone's property and rescue it. But yeah, just a word of caution, this thing is light and the wind just takes it. These things just kind of taking off on you. I had a near crash in Greece where I put up the drone and before I knew it, it was like 30, 40 feet behind me. So you just have to be really mindful of heavy winds with smaller and more inexpensive drones. So overall, I think the Mini 2 SC or the 4K is gonna fit the majority of people's budgets, but then also be good enough quality that for whatever use case you're using it for, it's gonna work for you. For something like the DJI Flip, if you really need log and 10-bit, something like that, spending the little bit extra money on something like this would probably be your best bet because you're not getting that in anything else. If you want something just to like no remote, pick up, fly, it's 200 bucks. It has all these preset modes and you need like a good follow me feature, that's good. But there are lots of limitations with the DJI Neo, so I would be mindful of that and probably err on something a little bit more like the 2SE or 4K. If you have, say, the Mini 2 SE and you're like, you know what, I'm ready for that next upgrade path. The Mini 3, yeah, it's to me, to my trained eye, I guess, like it's a little bit better quality. But I would actually say the upgrade path would probably be, I'd go the Flip after the 2 SE. If you have $500 hanging around and you're okay buying used, like I bought this Air 2S for, I would definitely say of the bunch, this is by far and away the best photo and video that you're gonna get. So if you have $500 laying around, I would probably jump right to this. But if you are on a budget of like half that price, the Mini 2 SE or 4K is going to be your best bet. You can check out all of my other videos on drones. I do comparisons or individual reviews of a lot of these different ones. I'll leave it in the description and also in some cards here. Thank you so much for stopping by. We'll see you in the next video. Maddie out. Peace.